Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Basic Gardener. One of my favourite plants are the succulents, and you can't beat them. This is the latest one I've bought. It's got a lovely red colour to it. It was in a horrible compost, and this is something I'd always tell you to bear in mind in garden centres. They'd never put, or in my experience, all the ones I've bought never seem to have any grit in them. So it's always good to get them straight out of the pot they're in, pop them onto something new, and put some grit in there, because this was absolutely drenched, and I could tell by the weight of it there was far too much water sat around the roots. These guys, they don't like to sit wet. They hate being absolutely drenched and soaked. They hold all of their water they need within their leaves, and really at the end of the day, it's best, if you think not sure to water them, leave it another day and then have another look again. When the soil dries out, at the moment we're in the sort of midsummer kind of time, I water these once a week. If it's going to rain, I don't bother normally. I still check them, and if you do see them start to wilt a little bit, then obviously give them some, but don't water these unnecessary. But the reason I purchased this one was because I saw it had a lot of babies coming off of it, and I'm just going to quickly show you how we go about propagating some of those. Actually, just before we go any further, let me show you some of the other succulents I've got within my collection at the moment. Right, so now we're back. This is going to be a quick way just to show you how to do this. Now, before we go any further, compost is very important. This is what I like to use, the cactus and succulent cactus and succulent potting up mix by Westland. Really good compost this. I've had a lot of success using that. The only thing I would say is always add some grit, because these guys like free drainage. I had a little bit left from the last lot I've done, and for this sort of size pot I'm going to be really heavy with the grit, so that straight in there, and just work that through into the compost, really churning it over. And once we've done that, we'll just top dress with a bit more earth from the Western compost here, and then I'll show you what to do in terms of picking these guys off. Right, so with that all mixed in, you can see there are some little bits of brick and stuff in there, but I never think there's really enough, and it's always good just to put a bit more in there. Right, so the main event. The succulents, when they produce these babies, and as you can see, something's had a bit of a go at that one there. I think it must have been a slug. I like to get an old pair of scissors, try and lift up some of those leaves, as you can see I'm doing, and try and find the main stem. Cut that off, and then that will give you your new plant. Now I like to just take this down a little bit more, so that's your whole new succulent. So let's take a little bit more off of that, and then sit that in the pot. And it is as easy as that. And I'll just repeat the process again for you. So get that as far back as you sort of can, cut that off. I'm just pulling off a couple of these scraggly looking leaves just to tidy them up a bit. And then once we've pulled those off, it is as simple as pushing those straight into the pot. Some of them may need a little bit more persuasion than others. In fact, I might even just take that down a little bit more, just to push that in. And I'll just do the rest of these, and then we'll show you the end product. And now, with everything done, this is the end product. It looks a little bit messy to start off with, and it will do till they grow into that space. But as you probably can notice, there are some more babies on there, or little ones on there. There's one there. I'm just going to leave those for now and see if they can grow a bit bigger, more to sort of these one size, before I harvest those. Now, the big question is, do you water it? I'm not going to water these, just leave them a couple of days and see what happens to them. because I'd only just watered this plant a couple of days ago. If they start to wilt at all, first sign of wilting, I will water them. But in my experience, succulents can really tolerate a droughted environment for a fair bit of time. So we'll just see what happens. But that is it for today, guys. And that was a pretty easy, quick video from the Basic Gardener. I hope you've enjoyed the video. And I'll see you all on the next one. So thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.